Sometime in the near future, Japan is repeatedly attacked by massive creatures known as kaijus. These monsters show up without warning and leave destruction in their wake, forcing the Japanese military and scientific teams to constantly adapt and improve their defenses. Over time, they form a specialized kaiju response unit to deal with these growing threats. But just as the humans begin to think they're gaining the upper hand, a new kind of kaiju emerges, one unlike any they've faced before. This time, the monster is spotted near a power grid in a remote area. The military immediately moves in, setting up their base in a nearby forest. Scientists from the kaiju research team begin monitoring the situation while the civilian population is evacuated. But something is off this time. The creature soon vanishes from their sight, and they quickly realize it has the ability to bend visible light, making it completely invisible to the naked eye. This renders the army's weapons, especially laser-guided ones, useless. The kaiju then appears at a second power facility and begins draining electricity. It appears that it's using the current to increase its strength. The monster, now identified as Neronga, leaves a trail of destruction as it hunts for more power. The army launches multiple missiles in a desperate attempt to slow it down, but Neronga detects the attack and uses a high-energy beam to wipe them out instantly. With growing pressure, the government considers a nuclear strike, but the risk to civilian lives is too high. They are thus left with no ideas while Neronga keeps advancing and destroying villages. During the chaos, a special agent named Shinji Kaminaga notices a child trapped near the combat zone. Ignoring the danger, he rushes in to rescue the boy. But just as things reach a critical point, the military picks up an unidentified flying object entering Earth's atmosphere at extreme speed. It crashes directly into the battlefield, launching Neronga through the air and knocking out Shinji in the blasts. A shockwave ripples through the area, and in the dust that follows, something massive begins to rise. Out of the haze, a giant silver humanoid appears, leaving everyone in shock. Neronga wastes no time and fires a powerful electric beam, but the giant doesn't even flinch. The attack, estimated to carry over 500,000 watts of energy, has no effect at all. This frightens the creature and it tries to escape by turning invisible again. But the giant doesn't have other ideas. He raises his hand, gathers a massive amount of energy, and unleashes a searing plasma beam into the mountainside. The attack hits Neronga directly, resulting in a massive explosion that flattens everything in the area, including the kaiju. In the aftermath of this incident, the military watches as the silver figure looks around at the damage before silently taking off into the sky, vanishing from all human detection. Meanwhile, Shinji regains consciousness, still clutching the boy he saved. Both of them are miraculously alive, despite the devastation around them. A few days later, a new member named Hiroko Asami joins the special scientific search team. She is introduced to Captain Tamura and the rest of the crew, including Shinji Kaminaga, an agent known for his solitary nature and secretive methods. Right away, Asami senses that something is off about Shinji. His behavior is strange, his habits seem altered, and he avoids questions. She grows suspicious, especially after noticing the timing of his actions during recent kaiju incidents. But before the team can dig deeper into Shinji's strange behavior, another emergency hits. A new kaiju appears in the Kamakita district, moving underground and causing massive tremors as it approaches a nuclear facility. Scientists observing the monster detect extremely high radiation levels, and the creature seems to be heading straight for the waste storage, likely trying to absorb its energy. If it succeeds, the radiation leak could cause a disaster on a national scale. The monster is identified as Gabora, the subterranean kaiju, feared not just for its power but for the damage its radioactive presence could unleash. In response, the military jets drop heavy explosives from the air, but the kaiju withstands the assault with little damage, forcing the jets to retreat. Shortly after, Gabora erupts from beneath the earth, revealing a massive drill-like head that he used to tunnel his way forward. The monster then continues heading for the nuclear plant. Back at the science team's base, everyone scrambles to come up with a new strategy. They realize that attacking the kaiju with weapons isn't an option as it is too powerful. Hence, they decide to head to the site and do some research before coming up with a possible solution. The team then gears up and rushes to the site, but Shinji takes a different path midway. In a shocking turn of events, he pulls out a strange device from his pocket, which causes him to transform into Ultraman himself. This time, he has streaks of red across his silver body. Just as Gabora reaches the nuclear facility, Ultraman lands directly in front of him. This is noticed by the military team, leaving them completely speechless. The two giants then waste no time and engage in a deadly battle. Ultraman spins and strikes first with a mid-air kick, sending Gabora flying. but the monster recovers and returns the attack, pushing Ultraman against the facility walls and trying to pierce him with the drill on its head. Ultraman retaliates by grabbing Gabora's limbs and spinning the kaiju into the mountains, but it's still not enough. Gabora roars in frustration and unleashes a high-energy radiation beam. Our hero absorbs the energy with a shield, but the strain begins to show when his glowing red patterns start turning green. This is a sign that his power is depleting, but despite the odds, he refuses to give up and pushes forward through the beam. A few seconds later, Ultraman manages to get close to Gabora, and he delivers a crushing punch that knocks the monster to the ground. After this, Ultraman lifts the defeated kaiju onto his back and flies into the sky. The people below watch in silence as both figures vanish into the clouds. The team realizes Ultraman has not only prevented a nuclear catastrophe, but also risked himself to carry the threat far away from Earth. When everyone gets back to their base, they see that Shinji has already returned. This confuses them, but they don't give it much thought as the danger has been averted for now. Over the next few days, Ultraman becomes the most talked about topic in the world. Media outlets flood the internet with theories, footage, and speculations. People begin to see the giant silver warrior as humanity's protector. Back at the base, as the team is engrossed in their work, a virtual attack hits them hard. All systems crash and the entire database is wiped out. The team scrambles to recover anything useful, but the power also goes out, leaving them helpless. Then, right in the middle of the chaos, a strange figure materializes in front of the team. He introduces himself as Zerab, an alien who has come from another planet, just like Ultraman. With a mysterious demeanor, Zerab insists that he has only come to talk. He admits that his arrival caused the electromagnetic wave that damaged their electronics, but as an apology, he uses his powers to restore every system in seconds. He even offers a device that translates all languages instantly. Following this, Zerab asks for a private audience with Japan's Prime Minister. He promises to give them technology that could help humanity fight the kaiju. But there's a condition: Japan must submit to his guidance. Soon after, the Prime Minister is notified of the alien's presence and he arrives for the meeting. They even shake hands and promise to form some sort of agreement. But with the science agency, there are growing suspicions. Captain Tamura and his team suspect that the aliens' intentions aren't as peaceful as they appear. Zerab's ability to manipulate digital systems makes him a dangerous asset in any geopolitical conflict. If he shares that technology with rival nations, the balance of global power could be shattered. On the other hand, we see Shinji in his car with one of his colleagues. He has also watched the news and doesn't like the fact that the government is trying to make a deal with Zerab. According to Shinji, the aliens cannot be trusted as they only have ulterior motives. After a while, his colleague departs from there, leaving him alone. This is when Zerab confronts him inside the car. The alien then reveals his true motive: to incite conflict among nations, destabilize Earth's governments, and ultimately ensure the destruction of the human race. He sees humans as reckless, war-driven creatures who reproduce without purpose and pose a threat to the galaxy. Zerab also knows Shinji's secret that he is Ultraman. This information shocks our hero and he tries to fight back, but Zerab uses his powers to knock him out and secretly take him to a hidden location. For the next few days, the agency searches for their missing teammate, but to no avail. Meanwhile, the public begins to panic when Ultraman reappears in a city. He has now become evil and is destroying buildings and tearing apart streets. This confuses the military, but they have no choice but to respond. They launch several airstrikes from their jets, but none of them affect the towering figure. As the public starts to lose trust in their government, Zerab swoops in. He forces the government to sign a one-sided agreement for protection. It becomes clear that the Ultraman attacking the city is not the real one but Zerab in disguise. During this time, Zerab spreads more chaos. He leaks footage of Shinji transforming into Ultraman, framing him as a global threat and turning him into a wanted criminal. While the world reacts, Asami receives a secret package, a beta capsule, the very device that allows Shinji to transform into Ultraman. It was sent to her by Shinji before his capture. She then teams up with one of his former partners, who reveals that Shinji left behind traces of ink on the ground during his abduction. Using the clues, Asami and the partner locate the hidden facility where Shinji is being held. She immediately confronts him and demands to know why he lied to everyone. But Shinji calmly replies that he never lied, he just stayed silent. After this, Asami frees him and returns the beta capsule, urging him to stop the imposter before it's too late. But before they can escape, the fake Ultraman bursts into the building. A massive hand crashes through the wall, grabbing Asami like she's a toy. Zerab, who is still posing as Ultraman, lifts her high into the air. But just when all hope seems to be lost, Shinji steps in. He activates the beta capsule and transforms into the real Ultraman. The silver giant then lands a powerful kick on his opponent, causing him to relinquish hold of Asami. Our hero quickly catches her mid-air before setting her down in a safe location. After this, the two giants clash in the center of the city, trading blows in a brutal fight. They go back and forth for a while, but Ultraman eventually gains the upper hand. He uses his sonic beam to blast Zarab into the sky and crash him against the building. As the dust clears, the fake Ultraman begins to change shape and Zarab's real form is finally exposed. But the alien isn't done yet. He stuns Ultraman with a sudden burst of energy and tries to escape into the sky. But Ultraman quickly regains his composure and pursues his nemesis. The two then race across the clouds, exchanging attacks mid-flight. Zarab uses every trick he has, but Ultraman eventually corners him. He strikes with a powerful plasma beam, weakening the alien. Then, with perfect precision, Ultraman throws an energy disc that slices Zarab in half, ending the threat once and for all. With the danger now averted, Ultraman flies into the sky and vanishes as usual. Back on the ground, the world watches with awe. They realize the silver giant has saved them again, but now they also know who he is. The Japanese government thus issues an arrest order for Shinji, and a nationwide manhunt is initiated. In the next scene, we are taken to the base where the team is trying to figure out what just happened. Shinji has been missing as usual, but this time, even the whereabouts of Asami are unknown. As the team is discussing the situation, Captain Tamura receives an emergency alert. It turns out a new giant has been spotted in the middle of the city. The team races to the location, only to be met by a shocking sight. The giant is none other than Asami, who has somehow become 40 meters tall. She is walking with a completely expressionless face, indicating that she has been hypnotized. Nearby, her team and several other people try calling out to her, but Asami doesn't respond to them. All of a sudden, she raises her arm and smashes a nearby building. This sends the crowd into a state of panic and they immediately start running away. At this moment, a strange voice booms through the sky. It declares that Ultraman is not the only one who can become a giant. After making this statement, the voice vanishes and Asami drops to the ground, unconscious. Emergency services rush in and restrain her before she can cause further damage. The team manages to secure her, but they have no idea how to reverse what happened. Back at the base, the team is left with a lot of questions. They wonder how Asami turned into a giant and what was the purpose of the demonstration. As the defense team struggles to understand the situation, a new figure steps into their hidden meeting space. Calm and confident, he introduces himself as Mephilas the alien. He claims to have arrived on Earth long before Ultraman, and reveals that it was his voice the public heard during Asami's transformation. Without hesitation, Mephilas demonstrates his control over the situation by pulling out a strange device called a beta box. Using it, he instantly shrinks Asami back to normal size. She wakes up confused and with no memory of her transformation. Mephilas then arranges a meeting with the Japanese government and says that he's willing to offer this beta box technology to humans. With it, they could defend themselves or even gain the power to dominate the world. He claims that he wants peace, not control, but still asks for a high-ranking political role in exchange for the technology. The idea of using the beta box to weaponize humans stirs deep concern among the high-ranking officials. But they are also tempted as it could effectively turn the tide against the Kaijus in their favor. The Prime Minister also knows that with this power, Japan could become the dominant force in the world. Hence, after a bit of deliberation, they agree to the offer. On the other hand, Asami has now returned to the base and she is furious that she was used as a subject without her consent. Millions of her photographs are now flooding the internet, and some of them are really embarrassing. Later, she receives a message from Mephilas himself. The alien apologizes for his actions and decides to make up for it. He uses his powers and deletes all the images and videos of her transformation from the internet. Later, Mephilas approaches Shinji at a park and engages him in conversation. He talks about the future of humanity and says that handing over the beta box to humans will drastically improve their chances of beating the Kaijus. But Shinji believes that it's a bad idea as it will greatly alter human evolution. He insists that people are capable of growth and good, and should never be used as tools for alien agendas. As the two continue discussing, a swarm of army officers arrive at the scene and prepare to launch an attack on Shinji. But before they can do so, Mephilas uses his powers to teleport Shinji away from there. The two continue their conversation in a bar, where Mephilas reveals that he has already made a deal with the government, which will grant him immense power in the government. This way, he can have an iron grip over the country and soon the entire world. After the encounter with Mephilas, Shinji reaches out to Asami and asks her to meet him somewhere safe. A few hours later, the whole special defense team gathers in a quiet subway station. Shinji apologizes to everyone for keeping secrets and tells them they need to work together to stop Mephilas' plan before it's too late. He explains that their only chance is to take back the beta boxes before they're handed over to the government, or the world could face serious danger. The next day, Mephilas prepares to finalize the deal in a formal ceremony. Government officials gather and he presents the beta box in front of the press and the military. But before he can hand it over, a massive hand crashes into the event and snatches the device. It is none other than our hero, Ultraman. He then hurls the beta box inside a chopper that his friends have been piloting nearby. Upon witnessing this, an enraged Mephilas turns into his giant alien form. The two then engage in a deadly battle right in the middle of the city. The first one to strike is Ultraman, who hurls an energy disc towards his opponent, but Mephilas is able to repel it easily. He then counters with his own deadly beam, but Ultraman somehow manages to block it. After this, both the aliens launch their plasma beams, which are expectedly blocked by each other. But as the battle wears on, Mephilas gains the upper hand as his plasma beam appears to be stronger. He comes closer to Ultraman and is about to strike him with the final blow, but suddenly stops when he witnesses something in the distance. It turns out to be another giant alien, who is closely observing the fight. Mephilas is intimidated by this alien's presence, so he immediately abandons the fight. He then asks for the beta box, and after receiving it from Shinji, he flies away from the planet. In the aftermath, Shinji returns to the site where he had been knocked out by debris a few weeks earlier. But in a shocking twist, he comes face to face with his motionless body, revealing that he had actually died in the incident. We then get to know that Ultraman merged with Shinji's body and started living as him to better understand him. A short while later, the giant alien from earlier arrives at the scene. His name is Zoffy, a high-ranking member of Ultraman's race. Zoffy had been watching the battle, and it was his presence that caused Mephilas to retreat. Zoffy then explains the reason behind his arrival on Earth. It is because Ultraman violated his planet's protocol by taking the identity of a human. Because of this, humanity now possesses knowledge of the beta box, and the planet has become a threat to the universe. Hence, Zoffy plans to destroy Earth to prevent humans from reaching a similar level of development as the alien civilizations. To do this, he unleashes a doomsday weapon named Zeton, a massive biomechanical device capable of annihilating an entire solar system. In a matter of seconds, Zeton appears in the sky, an enormous object hovering just above Earth's atmosphere. It starts gathering energy to unleash the devastating strike that would wipe out humanity. Meanwhile, people around the world see it, but the truth is kept from the public. The Japanese government refuses to admit what the object really is. Amidst the chaos, Shinji rushes to his team and explains the situation. He reveals that Zeton isn't just another kaiju. It's a weapon designed to wipe out everything in its path, and no human-made weapon can even scratch it. Upon hearing this, his team is left stunned, but they know that the only person who can stop this madness is Shinji himself. They thus encourage him to take action, to which he agrees. Before leaving, Shinji leaves behind a data file detailing Zeton's structure and threat level. He then walks outside and transforms into Ultraman one more time. He launches into the sky and heads straight for the alien weapon. Soon after, Ultraman reaches Zeton and attacks with everything he has. He throws energy blades, blasts it with plasma beams, and uses every technique he's learned. But the weapon doesn't even flinch, indicating that it is indestructible. It instead responds with a storm of cosmic projectiles that strike Ultraman repeatedly. The force of the blasts proves too much and Ultraman is sent crashing down to Earth. He soon re-enters the atmosphere in his human form and falls into the ocean, severely injured. Asami and her team immediately rush him to the hospital, where he is placed in a medically induced coma. He is safe for now, but the government officials are devastated that Ultraman couldn't destroy the threat. Even the Prime Minister is out of ideas and they simply wait for the inevitable to happen. As the days pass by, the people on Earth start living normally, completely unaware of the threat that looms over them. At the hospital, Shinji continues to recover, but he's not out of his coma yet. Meanwhile, at the base, the special task team is still pushing to find a solution. This is when one of them remembers the data file left behind by Shinji. Inside it, they discover detailed notes and equations about something called the beta hour. These notes explain that by using the beta capsule in a specific way, it might be possible to create a powerful energy reaction that could cancel out Zeton's destructive force and stop the weapon before it fires. The team's biologists and physicists immediately begin working together to come up with a strategy. According to the data, if Ultraman gets close enough to Zeton and activates the beta capsule at the exact moment of impact, the combined energies could collide and neutralize each other. However, this plan comes with a heavy risk, as the reaction could create a black hole strong enough to pull Ultraman into another dimension, with no way to return. Not long after, Shinji regains consciousness, and once he has fully recovered, his teammates explain the entire plan and show him the modified beta capsule that now carries the necessary beta power. Understanding the danger but also the importance of the mission, Shinji quietly accepts the responsibility without hesitation. He then steps outside, raises the device, and transforms into Ultraman once more. Rising into the sky, Ultraman heads straight towards Zeton, who is seconds away from unleashing its final attack. Our hero then crashes directly into the heart of the weapon at incredible speed. The two cosmic forces collide and their energies cancel each other out. The planet is finally saved, but as the portal collapses into a black hole, Ultraman is pulled inside and vanishes from sight. Back on Earth, the special team and the people of the world look up at the sky, realizing that the threat is gone and the planet is safe. But they also realize that Ultraman is no longer with them and become devastated. What no one knows is that Ultraman has survived. Inside the other dimension, he is greeted by Zophi, the high-ranking alien who once intended to destroy Earth. After witnessing the courage and determination of the human race, Zophi admits that he has changed his mind and now sees value in preserving the planet and its people. Ultraman then makes one final request. He asks to be sacrificed in return for Shinji's life. Zophi agrees to his request and separates Ultraman's spirit from Shinji's body, allowing the man to live again as a human. Back on Earth, the special defense team has gathered near Shinji's body to take him away, but they are left stunned when the man slowly comes back to life. If you enjoyed this movie recap, please like the video and comment below what movie we should recap next. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, then make sure to subscribe to our channel, and until next time guys, I will see you in the next one. Take care.